You ever just look up at the night sky and wonder, what are we really looking at? Is it this incredible canvas of wonder and infinite possibility? Or is it just a terrifyingly huge, empty space that kind of makes you realize how alone we are? This is one of the oldest questions we've ever asked ourselves, and it really gets to the heart of how we see our place in the cosmos. So, let's get into it. Yeah, it really all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Are we living in some kind of beautiful dream, a universe just packed with light and meaning? Or are we just a tiny little spark in a massive, terrifying void? Let's take a look at both sides of this cosmic argument. All right, first up, let's explore the optimistic take, the view that the universe is this unbelievably inspiring and, well, beautiful place. What I love about this perspective is that it's all about potential, you know? It says we shouldn't define the universe by all its empty space, but by the amazing points of light scattered all through it, the stars, the galaxies, all of it. It frames the whole cosmos not as some big empty box, but more like a treasure chest, just waiting for us to open it and see what's inside. And this is the stuff that really gets us going, right? You've got the countless stars, the absolutely majestic galaxies. I mean, have you seen some of those pictures from the James Webb Telescope? Just breathtaking. Then you have all the unsolved mysteries that keep us curious, things like dark matter. But maybe the most important part is our own drive to explore. Every time we launch a rocket, every rover we send to Mars, that's us actively pushing back against the darkness. It's a huge symbol of human hope. Okay, but there is a really powerful and honestly kind of chilling counterargument, a perspective that sees the universe not as this cradle of life, but as a cold, dark, and completely indifferent place. And this view just flips the whole script. It argues that for every single point of light we get excited about, there are these unimaginable stretches of just nothing. It says the exceptions, the stars, the tiny chance of life, they don't define the universe. The overwhelming, empty, silent rule, that's what defines it. And this comparison right here, wow, it really puts the scale of it all into perspective. On one side, you have a shining star, this beacon of life and possibility. But for every one of those, the universe gives us what's on the other side. Millions of dead worlds. Just cold, lifeless rock and gas. When you look at it this way, the darkness seems to totally outweigh the light. So, this brings the question a lot closer to home. If the universe really is this huge and empty, what does that say about us? What is our place in this whole big void? To even start to get a handle on this, let's just look at our own galactic neighborhood, the Milky Way. Scientists estimate there are over 100 billion stars right here. Just let that number sink in for a second. 100 billion suns. And we're pretty sure now that most, if not all of them, have their own planets. And that staggering number leads to one of the most famous and, frankly, unnerving questions in all of science, the Fermi paradox. The physicist Enrico Fermi basically asked, look, if the galaxy is packed with stars and potential worlds, then where is everybody? Why is it that when we listen out into the cosmos, all we hear is silence? Why does it seem like we are completely, utterly alone? But wait, here's a really interesting philosophical turn. What if we're looking at this all wrong? What if that loneliness isn't actually a curse? Maybe the mind-boggling improbability of us even being here, this tiny, conscious island in a vast sea of silence, is the very thing that makes our existence so incredibly precious and extraordinary. But even that hopeful idea runs into a pretty grim, final reality, the fate of the universe itself. Right now, yeah, the stars are shining. But fast forward trillions of years and they'll start to burn out. Eons after that, the galaxies will drift so far apart from each other that they'll be invisible. Until finally, the universe hits what scientists call its heat death, and there's nothing left but cold, eternal darkness. So, is that it? Are we just supposed to give in to despair? Well, not so fast. This is where we can actually pull both of these views together to find something, well, a little more profound. A way to find some light, even when we know the darkness is coming. And this simple idea, this metaphor, is really the key to everything. Think about it. The value of a candle isn't measured by how long it can burn. It's measured by the light it gives off while it's here. It doesn't have to beat the darkness forever to be meaningful. It just has to shine. This suggests a really important shift in how we look for meaning. It's not about cosmic permanence. It's not about lasting forever. No, meaning is something that we forge. It's found in the significance of our actions, our art, our discoveries, our connections with each other, right now, in this tiny, precious moment we've been given.
So ultimately, it all comes down to a choice. First, yeah, you have to acknowledge the vast, cold reality of it all. You can't just ignore it. But then you get to choose. How are you going to respond? With despair over how small we are? Or are you going to choose to be that candle, to create your own light, your own meaning? Which leaves us with one last thought. Is all that silent darkness out there an argument that we're insignificant, that it's all meaningless in the end? Or is it actually the perfect blank canvas, the ultimate beginning for us to create a meaning all our own?